What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, June 25th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think is the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday went pretty smoothly. Now, we got off to a bad start. We had the under there in that Rangers-Baltimore Orioles game. Felt like a little bit of a bad beat. We end up with a 5-run 7th inning and 1 run there in the 8th inning, screwing us over in that one in a game that eventually ended 6-5 there with the Rangers winning in 10 innings. That was a little bit annoying. Uncle Charlie was, not as good as he's been recently, and the Rangers bullpen looked pretty bad. So we take the loss there, but bounce back quickly. We had the Blue Jays at -110. That was a solid 10-6 win. More fireworks than I would have guessed, but we'll for sure take the win on that one. We had the Braves at -150. That was a 7-4 win there. Strider was good. The bullpen mostly held up, whereas the Mets bullpen was terrible in that game. So another win there for Atlanta. We had the Mariners at -105. That was a 6-5 win. Castillo was actually awful over his 5 innings, but the bullpen was lights out. Paddock was bad for the Twins, and their bullpen ended up blowing it there in the 9th inning. So another win there. Unfortunately, the Phillies at +120 as our dog of the day did not come through. It was a tough 1-0 loss there for Philadelphia. Suarez takes the loss despite going 7 2/3 innings of 1-run ball. The Phillies offense just did not show up in this game. So an annoying one to lose for sure, but we bounced back. We had the Tigers at -290. Skubal did not let us down, although it wasn't his fault they won that game. It was an 11-4 win thanks to the offense going nuts on Severino. Skubal was not great. Shout out to that guy down in the comments who was bringing up all the A's hitters that have good piss history against Skubal. It didn't really pay off, but he made a very good point. They did end up hitting the ball well against Skubal. So take that for what it's worth, guys. But another 4-2 day. Put it on the board. Let's hop back in. We've got a full slate to cover out here on Wednesday. A ton of games. So first up, we're going to hop in and we're going to be looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Diamondbacks come into this game fresh off a nice 4-1 win there in game 2. So far, so good in this series for the Diamondbacks. A team desperately in need of wins. They're 41-38 on the year, not having the season they imagined. They'll hand the ball here to Zach Gallen, who's 5-8 on the season, a 5.60 ERA. He's been part and parcel to all the problems this Diamondbacks team is having with their pitching staff. 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned runs against the Rockies. The Diamondbacks eventually win that game 14-8, but you gotta want your starting pitcher to be a little bit better than that. We'll see what he can do here against the White Sox. Obviously, maybe a step down in competition. Well, not a step down in competition from the Rockies. So not expecting miracles from Gallen, not expecting anything good from the Arizona bullpen, 4th worst in the majors. The offense is why this team is good. They've scored 4, 10, 2, 5, and 14 runs over their last few games. They have been dealing with some injuries. We'll be seeing if they can get fully healthy for this game, but yeah, 3rd in runs scored, still 4th in batting average, but those injuries do make us a little bit worried. Suarez on the, possibly, he's listed as day-to-day, so probably going to miss multiple games, swelling in his right hand. Naylor listed as day-to-day with that shoulder issue. He was in the lineup there on Tuesday, so that was good. Just this team's banged up right now, so we'll see what they do against the White Sox, who are 25-55 on the year, losers of the first 2 of this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to Sean Burke, who is 3-7 on the year, a 4.50 ERA. His last start was actually pretty good against the Cardinals. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned. The White Sox managed to lose that game 5-4, but still pretty decent stuff from him. And I would say 4 out of his last 5 starts have been excellent. So Sean Burke, somebody to keep an eye on. Obviously, the White Sox bullpen is nothing too special, but a 4.25 bullpen ERA keeps them out of the bottom 10-ish in the majors. The offense is not great. They've only scored 1 run so far in this series, despite going up against one of the worst pitching staffs in the majors. They are 28th in runs scored. They are last in batting average, 2nd to last in slugging percentage. The White Sox can't hit, guys. What else is new? So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit surprised. The Diamondbacks are -135. The White Sox are +118. We've got a total of 9. The Diamondbacks are 19-20 on the road, 20-17-2 to the over on the road. The White Sox are 16-21 at home, 21-13-3 to the over at home. Both teams showing trends towards the over here. I'm probably not taking the over in this spot. I will lean towards the Diamondbacks at -135, but Sean Burke on the mound definitely gives me a little bit of reason for concern, so probably not one that's going to make the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers in a very exciting pitching matchup. The Pirates, coming off that 9-3 loss there yesterday, will hand the ball to Paul Skeens, who's 4-6 on the year, but a 1.85 ERA. He's coming off a 6-inning, 3-hit, 2 earned run appearance there at Detroit. He did walk 5, so clearly didn't didn't have the best control in that game, but struck out 9, and we saw the Pirates eventually win that game 8-4. Somehow Pittsburgh, despite being god-awful, is 4-1 over Skeens' last 5 starts. So we'll see what he can do here against the Brewers, a team that he faced in late May and was very, very good in a 6-5 extra inning win. We'll see if he can run it back here. Obviously, I'm expecting Skeens to be good. I'm also expecting that Pirates bullpen to be pretty middle of the road. That's kind of been the way they've been all year long. Middle of the road to bad, I'll say. Now, the offense has been atrocious. Maybe the worst offense in the majors. 29th in runs scored, 30th in slugging percentage. Andrew McCutchen continues to lead the way for this team in batting average, batting .259. They've scored 3, 5, 8, 2, 2, and 8 runs over their last few games, which is honestly a bit of a hot hitting streak. So we'll see what they can do here against the Brewers, who just won game 2 of this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to Mizorowski. He's 2-0 on the year, this young 23-year-old killing it. He's sporting a 1.64 ERA. This is only his 3rd start, but his first 2 have looked very, very solid. His last time out, 6 innings, 1 hit, 2 earned runs. It was a home run there against the Minnesota Twins in a 17-6 win. He also shut out the Cardinals over, a 5-inning start and another win there for the Brewers. So, yeah, Mizorowski and Skeens on the mound. This one looks pretty tasty. Now, the bullpen for Milwaukee's been slightly worse than the Pirates. It's not good, but their offense has actually been very, very playable. 9, 4, 9, 9, and 17, and 8 runs over their last few. They're hitting the ball well. This is one of the hottest offenses in the majors right now. They're 10th in runs scored. They are 18th in batting average, 14th in on-base percentage. They've got some real bats out there, and while that might not be a problem for Skeens, that could be a problem for the bullpen. Now, both teams have bad bullpens, so we'll see what happens in this one, guys. Looking at the numbers here, the Pirates are -120. The Brewers are +102. We've got a total of 6.5. That's kind of nuts. The Pirates 11-27 on the road, 23-13-2 to the under on the road. Milwaukee 17-24 at home, 24-13-1 to the under at home. Well, I'm not going to take under 6.5. That seems a little bit bonkers with these 2 bullpens out there, but I don't think it's out of the question bonkers. I think no run first inning is very, very live in this game. I would assume the price tag on that's not great. If you're begging me for a side, I will take the Brewers at +102. I'm scared to fade Skeens, so this won't go in the pinned comment, but I do think that, the more likely team to manage to put up some runs is the Brewers in this game. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Red Sox and Angels are playing right now, end of the 6th inning with Boston up 1-0. We'll see what they can get done here in game 3 of this series. The Red Sox not having a great time right now. They will hand the ball to one of the best names there in all of Major League Baseball, Richard Fitts. Richard Fitts is taking them out 0-3, a 4.71 ERA. He just got shelled by the Angels his last time out. Only lasted 1 inning in that game, so not a great look that he's got to turn right around and face the Angels again. Very worried about that. The Boston bullpen has been solid, though. Top 6, top 7, something like that in the majors. Not a bad bullpen unit. The offense, though, has taken a bit of a nosedive, which was, I guess, a little bit predictable after the trade that they made, which would only, exclusively make their offense worse. They're going to need to score some runs here against the Angels, who are 38-40 on the year. Not the pushover they were looking like in the early goings. They'll hand the ball to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 2-6 on the year, a 3.01 ERA. His last start had to pitch out of trouble a little bit there against Houston, but was very good. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, struck out 9 and walked 0. He struck out 10 the start before that, but struggled against Baltimore. So we'll see what he does against the Red Sox here, a team he struggled a bit against in early June, back on the 3rd. So we'll see. I'm a little bit worried about Kikuchi. He's had his problems this year. Obviously, the Angels' bullpen's been atrocious, 3rd worst in the majors, so not going to say anything great about them. The offense, though, is turning things around kind of aggressively. They're up to 19th in runs scored, still 13th in slugging percentage. They've scored 9, 7, and 9 runs over their last couple of games. So pretty good stuff for the Angels at the moment. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Red Sox are +105. The Angels are -125. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Red Sox 18-22 on the road, 21-19 to the over on the road. I think the Red Sox are going to become an under team here towards the end of the year. The Angels 16-18 at home and a 500 over under team. I actually think under 9 is definitely semi-live in this game. I don't love it, but I think it's out there. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean towards the Angels at home with Kikuchi on the mound, but I don't trust him enough giving his bad history here against Boston. Hey guys, hopping in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, and any other major sport that comes up picks every single day. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running and is off to a fantastic first half of the season. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. You'll be able to use our free-to-use bet size calculator, and you can see our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I am not the premium MLB handicapper for Stump the Spread. We've got a guy with many more years of MLB experience over there, really knows his stuff, some very in-depth tools and algorithms he uses to make his predictions every single day, and he's taking every possible variable that you can imagine into consideration. A history against pitchers, like I guarantee he already knew that Skubal struggled against some of those guys. Like he is, he's got his finger on the pulse of the MLB in a pretty crazy way. So definitely worth checking that out, guys. And also, you got to get over there to get on the free email newsletter. Just click that link in the description to go over to stumpthespread.com. They just need your name and your email address. That'll get you on the free email newsletter, which usually has 2 free picks per day. Our guy is putting out not only an MLB pick, but a WNBA pick on each one of those emails. So definitely worth checking that out. It's absolutely free information straight to your inbox every single day. Can't really hurt. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie here on June 30th to one random channel member, so definitely consider signing up for that if you're interested in doing those giveaways. We will be probably doing a giveaway every week next month. Like that's the goal. 4 giveaways next month. It's going to be kind of nuts. So definitely consider signing up for that. Members also get early access to all of our videos and get their name up on screen in every video, just like you've been seeing right now. But guys, we've got a ton of games still to cover, so we're going to hop right back in here. We're looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Nationals come into this game, well, they're actually still playing in this game right now against the Padres, and right now the Nationals, they're tied up. It's the middle of the 6th inning, tied up at 3 apiece. Washington actually hasn't been quite as bad as I would have expected this season, if I'm being honest. 33-46 on the year isn't great. They have had a couple lengthy losing streaks, but they'll hand the ball in this one to Mackenzie Gore, who's been okay, honestly, not terrible. 3-7, a not great record, but a 3.19 ERA isn't bad. He is coming off a bad start against the Dodgers, so going up against here, the Padres should be a little bit of a relief for him. And honestly, going into that game, he'd been throwing the ball really well. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Mackenzie Gore here, even though he hasn't faced the Padres yet this season. The problem in terms of the pitching staff for the Nationals has been their bullpen. It's currently the worst bullpen in the majors in terms of bullpen ERA. The offense has actually been turning things on here a little bit. I mean, 3 runs in their current game, 10 runs in game 1 of the series. They scored 7, 7, and 5 in their series at the Dodgers. So swinging the bats pretty well. They're 14th in runs scored, 22nd in batting average, 18th in slugging percentage. They've got some decent bats out there. I don't want anybody to think I'm bad talking the Nationals offense too much. We'll see what they do here against the Padres, who are 42-36 on the season. They are 5.5 games back there in the NL West. They'll be hitting the ball in this one to Nick Pivetta, who's 7-2 on the year, a 3.64 ERA. He's been pretty steady. I will say his last start wasn't great. 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and a 6-5 loss against the Royals. But overall this season, I think he's been pretty solid. Now, he doesn't have any history against the Nationals, so we'll see what he does in this matchup, but I think Pivetta is going to be just fine out there. The Padres bullpen I have very few concerns about. The 5th best bullpen in the majors in terms of bullpen ERA, so that's certainly not a bad thing. The offense is what the Padres are struggling with, and it's I'm not going to say for sure out of nowhere, but it hasn't been great. They are 18th in runs scored. They are 14th in batting average, 23rd in slugging percentage. Like, just not a lot of amazing numbers coming out. I mean, Machado and Tatis are their 2 solid hitters. Other than that, nobody really killing it at the moment. So we'll see what they can do in this matchup. The Nationals are plus 122. The Padres are minus 145. Got a total of 8 out there. Washington is 16-22 on the road. 18-2 to the over-under on the road. The Padres are 23-13 at home. 21-14-1 to the under at home. I don't hate under 8 in this game. You could also talk me into no-run first inning with these 2 offenses out there, but I don't know if I like either one of those plays enough to put it in the pinned comment. In terms of a side, I will shade just slightly towards Pivetta and the Padres offense to find a way to put up some runs, but Mackenzie Gore has been too good for me to like this nearly enough to put it in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we've got a game where unfortunately we don't have any numbers posted as of yet. We've got the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Rangers got the 6-5 10-inning win there. Pretty crazy stuff for them to manage to get that win despite 3 straight Baltimore home runs there in the 7th inning. The Rangers will hand the ball to DeGrom in this game. He's been lights out, 7-2 on the year, a 2.24 ERA. They're 4-0 over his last 4 starts. He's given up a total of 5 earned runs over those 4 starts. Like, he's been really good. We'll see what he does here against Baltimore. Maybe a little bit tougher of an opponent than he's been facing recently, but I'm not worried about DeGrom. I'm not worried about the Rangers bullpen. That's been very good. The offense is where the problems are for this team. I mean, they scored 6-0, 3-3, and 6 over their last few games. They're 26th in runs scored, guys. They are 28th in batting average. This is a terrible, terrible team at the plate. So we'll see if they can find a way to put up some runs here as they take on the Orioles, who not having a great time, losing 3 of their last 4. They'll hand the ball to Brandon Young. He's 0-1 on the season, a 6.23 ERA. This is only his 3rd start of the year. He's given up 3 earned runs against the Reds and 3 earned runs against the Tigers. I mean, the dude's not going deep into games, and he's not looking too good out there. And if you're not going deep into the games for the Orioles, that's really bad because their bullpen sucks. A 4.47 bullpen ERA. Not helpful. The offense, maybe it's okay, but not anywhere in the same galaxy that it was in last year. I mean, they're 23rd in runs scored. They're 23rd in on-base percentage. Throwing the ball a little bit better the last, I would say, 20 or so games, but it's still not looking great. So, unfortunately, like I said, guys, no numbers posted for this game, so it's going to have to be a wait-and-see spot, but I would be shocked if I didn't like the Rangers with DeGrom on the mound at least a little bit. Next up, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Athletics took the 11-4 loss there in Game 1 of this series, so if you were on the Tigers with us as our lock of the day, slam that thumbs up button. In Scooball, we trust, even though it wasn't really his fault they won that game. The Athletics will hand the ball here to Jacob Lopez, who's 1-4 on the year, a 4.25 ERA. His last start, he was great. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run against the Astros in a game we eventually saw the Athletics win 6-4. The Athletics are actually 3-0 over his last 3 starts. This guy, I mean, he's been throwing the ball really, really well. So we'll see what he does here against the Tigers, obviously, who come, swinging some pretty hot bats, but he's been very good. The Athletics bullpen, on the other hand, I can't really say the same. They've been one of the worst or 2 or 3 worst bullpens in the majors all year long. The thing that's propped this team up at times has been their offense. 4-0 and 2 runs over their last few games is not the norm. Over the course of the season, they're 15th in runs scored, 11th in batting average, batting .252 as a team. They're a top 10 slugging percentage team. Like, this squad has some bats in the lineup. Don't get me wrong. Now, does it always work out? No, but they can swing it. So we'll see what they do here against the Tigers, who are 50-30 on the year after that win. They'll hand the ball to Jack Flaherty, who's having a weird year. He's 5-8, a 4.83 ERA. His last 2 starts have been kind of train wrecks. Gave up 8 earned runs over 2 1/3 innings against Tampa Bay, and gave up 7 earned runs over 4 2/3 innings against the Cincinnati Reds. He's had stretches where he has been amazing. He's also having one of those stretches where he is terrible. So we'll see which version of Flaherty we get here. The Tigers bullpen, not a huge concern, but I mean, not a concern at all. A 3.81 bullpen ERA is significantly up from what we were seeing early in the season. The offense, though, I mean, they're hitting it, guys. 11, 9, 3, 8, 4, and 9 over their last few games. Riley Green killing it this season, batting nearly 300 with 17 home runs and 61 RBIs. They're the 5th highest run scoring team in the majors, 10th in batting average, 5th in slugging percentage. Like, this team can absolutely hit it. Now, will they be able to hit it here against Jacob Lopez? We'll have to see. I mean, looking at the numbers, the Athletics are plus 140. That looks pretty juicy going up against the Tigers at minus 166 with Flaherty on the mound. We got a total of 8.5. The Athletics are 17-21 on the road, 18-15-5 to the over on the road. Detroit 26-12 at home, 20-15-3 to the under at home. This feels a bit sketchy, guys, but the Athletics at plus 140 are definitely going on the list as a potential dog of the day. It's a pretty, appealing price. Lopez has been really good recently. The Tigers' offense has been great, but maybe he can slow him down. Flaherty has been a disaster his last 2 starts. Maybe he gets back on track here, but also maybe he doesn't. And the Athletics definitely have the bats to take advantage. Next up, guys, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Blue Jays 42-36 on the season, coming off that 10-6 win yesterday. So slam that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing that win there with us on Toronto yesterday. A very solid win there, putting up 10 runs, never feels too bad. And some more good news, they're going to hand the ball here to Max Scherzer. Coming off that thumb issue, he's going to start this game. He says his stuff is fine. He's trying everything he can to manage the thumb, make sure it recovers fully. There's no knowing. Apparently, he just has to get out there. So that doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement, but I'll be honest, I'm expecting Scherzer to be fine. This dude's going to find a way to pitch through this, I believe. So we'll see what happens. I like Scherzer on the mound here. Now, in terms of the bullpen, Toronto's been very solid this season, a 3.66 bullpen ERA, and the bats are alive, guys. 10, 2, 7, 1, 5, and 8 over their last few games. Slowing down a little bit, honestly, after, really hitting the ball pretty hard. I mean, they're 13th in runs scored. They're 5th in batting average, though, 9th in on-base percentage. Like, this team can swing the bats. So we'll see what they do here against the struggling Cleveland Guardians. I mean, they did win 2 out of 3 against the Athletics, but they're not having a great time starting this series off. They'll hand the ball to Gavin Williams, who's 5-3 on the year, a 3.58 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, he's been pretty solid. I mean, I guess he wasn't great at Seattle, but 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed there at the Giants is very good stuff. Now, he got no run support. The Guardians eventually lost that game 2-1. The offense is a problem, guys. The bullpen is not a disaster. A 3.81 bullpen ERA, though, doesn't exactly fill me with infinite confidence. But the offense, that's where the problems come up, guys. They're 25th in runs scored. They are 25th in batting average, batting only 230 as a team. Like, a lot of room for concern here for Cleveland at the plate. I mean, Jose Ramirez is doing what he can. He's batting .317 with 13 home runs, but that is not enough to carry a team in the major leagues to many wins. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a bit surprised. The Blue Jays are -110. The Guardians are -108. We've got a total of 8. Toronto is 16-20 on the road, 13-16-2 to the under, or 18-16-2 to the under on the road. Cleveland 19-15 at home, 18-15-1 to the under at home. I'm not interested in the under here, but I'm very interested in the Toronto Blue Jays at -110. They've got a very good bullpen, so even if Scherzer doesn't have his best stuff, get knocked around a little bit, they can get him out of there. I think they'll be able to score a little bit against Gavin Williams potentially, but definitely against that Cleveland bullpen, and that should probably be enough for Toronto to find a way to get the win. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Braves have won the first 2 games of this series, and slam that thumbs up button, guys, if you cashed the Atlanta Braves with us yesterday. That was very nice stuff, that 7-4 win. The Braves will hand the ball in this one to Fuentes, who's 0-1 on the year. This young 20-year-old coming out of Colombia. Is he actually 20, guys? That's I mean, I guess that's kind of a meme at this point, but I'd be shocked if the dude's actually 20. But he's 0-1, a 7.20 ERA after making his first start of the year, and that was against the Marlins, and it didn't go great. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. So he can be better than that, I believe. He's got very good stuff, but will he be better in this one? We'll have to wait and see. I think this could be a game where the Atlanta bullpen gets tested a little bit. A 3.70 bullpen ERA doesn't look terrible, so we'll give him some credit there. I am a bit worried about the offense. I mean, they've scored 7, 3, 3, 7, and 2 runs over their last few games. Austin Riley doing his thing. I mean, as a team, they're up to 22nd in the majors in runs scored, and they're 19th in batting average, batting .245 as a squad. But is this really the kind of offense that you think can carry a team if their pitching staff isn't on point? Kind of feels a bit sketchy to me. So we'll see what they do here against the New York Mets, who are slumping hard. It's getting bad. They've lost 3 straight. They won that one game against the Phillies, and they lost 6 or 7 straight before that. So it's looking pretty bleak. They'll hand the ball here to Clay Holmes, hoping he can turn things around for him. He's 7-4 on the year, a 3.04 ERA. His last start wasn't very good. It was at Atlanta, 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, walked 6 and struck out 5. I think we could see him have a bounce back here and look a lot better. I mean, you're walking 6. Clearly, you're having some control issues, but that was a 7-1 loss there for the Mets. So I'm not super enthused about Clay Holmes on the mound. In terms of the bullpen, though, it's held steady. A 3.29 bullpen ERA is 3rd best in the majors, and they've been one of the best bullpens in all of Major League Baseball basically the entire season. The offense is kind of bottoming out. I mean, they've scored 4, 2, 1, 11, 2, 1, and 0 over their last few games. We've seen guys like Pete Alonso slump. I mean, he's all the way down to batting .286. They're 13th in runs scored, 20th in batting average, like just not hitting the ball very well right now. They got to turn things back around at the plate, or they're just not going to have a very good time. And looking at the numbers here, the odds makers think this is their spot. The Braves are +122, the Mets are -145. We've got a total of 9.5 in this game. The Braves are only 13, or maybe it's 14 now, and 26 on the road. 20, 17, and 2 to the under on the road. The Mets are 27 and 10 at home. That's still an MLB best mark. They are 20, 15, and 2 to the under at home. I could maybe wrap my head around under 9.5 in this game. I don't love it necessarily, but I think it's live. In terms of a side, I don't love this, but I'm gonna side with the Mets here at -145. I don't like it nearly enough to put in the pinned comments, so nobody come after me. I don't love it like that, but I do think this is a good spot for the Mets to potentially bounce back and get a win. Shocker, guys, they're not going to lose the rest of the games for the entire season. Speaking of slumping teams, we've got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Yankees are 45-34 in the year. They just lost the first 2 games of this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to Max Fried, who's 9-2 on the year, a 2.05 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts haven't looked as sharp. I mean, 6 innings, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs against the Baltimore Orioles. Doesn't fill me with tons of optimism, but going up against the Reds, I doubt is like his nightmare. I think Max Fried's going to be absolutely fine out there. I'm expecting a good outing from him. The Yankees bullpen hasn't been terrible. A 3.54 bullpen ERA, very serviceable stuff. That's been right around where they've been basically all year long. So we don't hate that either. The problem for the Yankees recently, not a problem you would have thought they would have, has been their lack of offense. They've scored 4-1, 4-9, 3-7, 2, 0-0, and 0 over their last few games. Judge is slumping, and not like the dude gets tons to hit, but They're still 4th in the majors in runs scored. They're 8th in batting average, 2nd in on-base percentage, but it's just not looking like exactly smooth sailing right now for these Yankees at the plate. Like, it's been a bit rough in terms of their offensive production. So we'll see what they can do here at the Great American Ballpark, taking on the Cincinnati Reds, who've won 3 in a row now. They'll hand the ball in this game to Brady Singer. He comes into this game fresh off a pretty good start there at the Cardinals. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. Now, eventually the Reds lost that game 6-1, but it clearly wasn't his fault. He's 7-5 on the year, a 4.13 ERA, but I would say at least his last 3, if not 4 out of his last 5 starts have been very, very good. And, shutting down the Cardinals and the Tigers, not easy to do. So we'll see what Singer gets up to in this game. The Reds' bullpen's been a bit of a roller coaster lately, but I think they're decent overall. A 4.03 bullpen ERA, to me, doesn't paint a true picture of where this bullpen is at. Offensively, 5, 6, and 4 runs over their last few games, but we've seen very good stuff from guys like Elly De La Cruz. I mean, as a team, they're 10th in runs scored, 11th in slugging percentage. Like, this is not a terrible, no-good offense. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, I don't know. I'm scratching my head a little bit here. The Yankees are minus 220. The Reds are plus 180. We've got a total of 9.5. The Yankees are 21-16 on the road, 19-16-2 to the under on the road. The Reds are 20-17 at home, 20-15-2 to the under at home. First up, I think under 9.5 is extremely live in this game. I don't see any major reason to lean against that. I think both bullpens are fine, both starters are fine, and neither offense is lighting the world on fire. So the under feels live. And in terms of a side, there's no way I'm taking the Yankees at minus 220 the way they're playing. So give me the Reds at plus 180. Am I brave enough to make this my dog of the day? Maybe. I'm a pretty brave guy, so we'll see. It's a potential dog of the day here. The Reds are playing well. The Yankees not so much. I think there's a chance they find a way to win despite Max Fried being on the mound. Next up, guys, we've got the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Mariners, 41-37 on the year, winners of 3 in a row. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Mariners with us. They'll hand the ball in this game to George Kirby. He's 1-3 this season, a 6.16 ERA. His last start, not great there at the Cubs. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, but he did get bailed out there in an eventual 9-4 win there for the Mariners. Over his 3 out of his last 4 starts have been very, very good, and he had that 14 strikeout appearance there against the Angels. So we'll see what he can do here against the Twins. I'm expecting him to be pretty good out there. The Mariners' bullpen's been solid all year long. That's not news to anyone. The offense has looked great. They've scored 6, 11, 14, 7, and 9 runs over their last few games, swinging some very hot bats. They're 12th in runs scored in the majors, 9th in slugging percentage, 6th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 326 clip. This is a offense that would have made the Mariners, World Series contenders last year. So we'll see if they can continue to hit the ball like that going up against the Twins, who are floundering, guys. They've lost, what is it up to now? 5 in a row, and that was after a 6 or 7 in a row losing streak. They're 37-42 on the year, handing the ball to Joe Ryan, who's 7-3 this year, a 3.06 ERA. His last start, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. Not that great of a look against the Milwaukee Brewers, especially in a game the Twins eventually lose 17-6. He hasn't been terrible this season by any stretch, and hasn't even really been bad lately, but going up against the red-hot bats there at Seattle probably is a little bit nerve-wracking. When he comes out of the game, the bullpen has been atrocious recently for the Twins, all the way up to a 4.44 bullpen ERA, turning into a massive liability for this team. And while the offense hasn't been completely gone recently, it hasn't been great even over the course of the year. 5, 2, 8, 0, 6, and 12 over their last few, but they're 19th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in batting average, 20th in on-base percentage. Not a lot of noteworthy bats getting run up there to the plate for these Twins. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit surprised. The Mariners are plus 105. The Twins are minus 125. We've got a total of 8. The Mariners are 19-18 on the road, 20-16-1 to the over on the road. The Twins are 20-15 at home, 18-16-1 to the under at home. I'm definitely leaning towards the Mariners here at plus 105. I would understand people being worried because Joe Ryan's on the mound, but I think this is going to be a pretty good spot for George Kirby to have a good start, and I don't trust a whole lot that's coming out of the Twins right now, so definitely give me the Mariners here, getting that little plus money. Cruising through these games, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Rays come into this game 44-35 on the year, fresh off a 5-0 win there yesterday against the Royals. So very, very good news there for Taj Bradley to finally have a good start. The Rays will hand the ball in this one to Drew Rasmussen, who's 6-5 this season, a 2.61 ERA. His last start, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Orioles. Unfortunately for him, the Rays lose that game 4-1, but he was very good and has been very good in general this season. We'll see what he can do against the Royals, a team that he had a pretty middle-of-the-road outing, especially for him back in late April, but that was a while ago. Maybe it's time for a bounce back for Rasmussen. The bullpen for the Tampa Bay Rays has been very good, fourth best, or actually tied for third best in the majors, and the offense has come alive. I mean, 5, 3, 8, and 14 runs over their last few games. This squad is all the way up to 8th in the majors in runs scored. They are 6th in batting average. Like, they are doing a great job at the plate. Very, very good stuff. So loving life right now if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan. The Royals, on the other hand, they've lost 3 in a row. They're down to 38-41 on the year, 11.5 games back in the AL Central. They'll hand the ball here to Michael Wacha, who's 4-6 this season, a 3.24 ERA. His last start, he was great, but that was at the Texas Rangers, one of the worst offenses in baseball. His start for that was against the Athletics, and he was terrible. Start for that was at the White Sox, and he was good, but not great. So we'll see which version of Wacha we get here. Taking on the Rays is not an easy spot necessarily. Now, he hasn't faced Tampa Bay yet this year, but I'm not expecting miracles from Wacha at this point, and the Royals bullpen has been solid, so maybe once they're out there, it'll be okay. A 3.53 bullpen ERA, definitely nothing to turn your nose up at. Now, the offense, 1, 2, and 1 runs over their last 3 games. This is one of the weakest offenses in the majors. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. They are 17th in batting average, 25th in on-base percentage. This team just does not have enough bats. So looking at the numbers, the Rays are minus 125. The Royals are plus 105. We've got a total of 9. The Rays, 16-12 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They are 15-13 to the under on the road. The Royals are a 500 team at home. They're 23-15 to the under at home. You could talk me into under 9 in this game. I don't think that's a horrendous spot. I think that's okay, but better than the under. I like the Tampa Bay Rays here at minus 125 with Rasmussen on the mound going up against a terrible Royals offense. I think he has a great day here. I think the Rays bullpen will look good, and even if Wacha has a good day, he's going to give up a run. That might be all that Rasmussen and the Rays bullpen need. Next on the docket, we've got the rivalry game between the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals came away with a crazy 8-7 win there in game 2 of the series. Mason Wynn homers driving in 4. The Cardinals end up getting that 8-7 win. So yeah, pretty bonkers stuff there. The Cubs find themselves only 2.5 games up on the Cardinals now in the NL Central. They'll hand the ball in this one to Matthew Boyd, who's 6-3 on the year, a 2.84 ERA. His last start was pretty good against the Mariners. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, but the Cubs eventually lose that one 9-4. I mean, over his last 5 starts, he's given up a total of 6 earned runs. So the dude's been throwing the ball great. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't faced the Cardinals yet this year, so we'll see how that goes. They're not the easiest egg to crack, but I like Boyd in this spot a decent amount. The Cubs bullpen, a 3.50 bullpen ERA. Not going to throw a fit about that. And the offense, 7, 2, 6, and 10 runs over their last few games. Definitely a step back from what we're used to seeing from them. I mean, they're 2nd in the majors in runs scored, 8th in on-base percentage. This is one of the best offenses over the course of the year in the majors. Right now, not swinging the hottest bats. So we'll see what they do against the Cardinals, who have won, what is that up to now, 6 out of their last 7 games. They'll hand the ball here to Eric Feedy, who's 3-6 on the year, a 3.54 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned against the White Sox and what was eventually a 5-4 win. He's been pretty decent over his last 5 outings. I don't have a lot of bad things to say. The Cardinals are only 2-3 over that span, though. That's not ideal. He hasn't faced the Cubs yet this year. We'll see what we get out of Feedy here. I'm not expecting miracles from him. Now, the Cardinals bullpen down to a 3.91 bullpen ERA. Definitely not as good as the Cubs, but moving closer to playable on the year. The offense, I mean, that's what the Cardinals have hung their hat on all year long. They're 7th in runs scored, 7th in batting average, 5th in on base percentage. They scored 8, 8, 1, 6, 6, 8, and 5 over their last few games. This is a pretty good offense, and I had my doubts coming into the year. So looking at the numbers here, the Cubs are minus 130, the Cardinals are plus 110. We've got a total of 9. The Cubs, 21-16 on the road, 19-14-4 to the over on the road. The Cardinals, 24-15 at home, 21-16-2 to the over at home. I think over 9 is live in this game. I don't know if it's a pinned comment worthy, but I think it's live. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean here slightly towards the Cubs to find a way to get a win here in this series, here in Game 3. They need it pretty desperately. Feedy isn't somebody I have a ton of faith in, so I think this is a decent chance for the Cubs to get a win, but, you know, fading the Cardinals when they're playing at home is a dangerous game. Next on the docket, we're looking at a team that let us down yesterday. The Phillies going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Phillies fresh off that 1-0 loss there yesterday, wasting an amazing start there from Suarez. They'll hand the ball here to Zach Wheeler, who's 7-2 on the year, a 2.61 ERA. He shut out the Mets over 5 innings his last time out, and it was eventually a 10-2 win for the Phillies there over the Mets. The Phillies are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. He's been looking pretty good out there. We'll see what he does against the Astros. Not a team he's faced this season, but I'm always going to be pretty happy to have Zach Wheeler on the mound. The Phillies bullpen on the other side, I mean, is terrible. 5th worst in the majors, a 4.63 bullpen ERA. a bullpen that's absolutely cost them some games this year. And the offense, not really firing on all cylinders, losing that one 1-0. They haven't hit the ball terrible recently, but also not on fire. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored still and 2nd in batting average, but not exactly an offense I feel like I can trust. So we'll see what they can do here against the Astros, who are playing pretty well, winners of 3 out of their last 4. They'll hand the ball here to Colton Gordon, who's 2-1 on the year, a 4.54 ERA. His last start was against the Athletics, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned over 5 innings and a 6-4 extra inning loss. He's looked pretty good recently, maybe not amazing, so going up against a Phillies offense could be a bit scary. We'll see what Colton Gordon can do here, but we're not scared for the Houston bullpen at all. A 3.28 bullpen ERA, absolutely elite stuff there. The offense has been their problem this season in general, but they're headed in the right direction. They're 3rd in batting average, batting, what is it, up to 257 as a team, 16th in runs scored, 12th in on-base percentage. So they've got work to do, but I do have some hope here for this offense. So looking at the numbers, the Phillies are minus 160. The Astros are plus 135. Got a total of 7.5. The Phillies are 21-17 on the road, 23-14-1 to the under on the road. The Astros 27-13 at home, 23-16-1 to the under at home. I'm not interested in under 7.5. If you're begging me for a side on this one, I'm not going to fade Zach Wheeler, but if I was going to take the Phillies, I'd probably take them in the first 5 as opposed to taking them over the course of the full game because I just simply cannot trust that bullpen. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Los Angeles Dodgers going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Dodgers got the 9-7 win there in Game 1, thanks in part to Ohtani hitting yet another home run. They'll hand the ball in this game to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's 6-6 this year, a 2.76 ERA. He's fresh off a start where he had to pitch out of some trouble there against the Padres, and we saw the Dodgers eventually lose 5-3. The Dodgers are actually 0-4 over his last 4 starts, but not all of that has been his fault, although he hasn't been amazing. A good bounce back spot for him here taking on the Rockies, a team he hasn't faced yet, and a team that's very bad at the plate. The bullpen for the Dodgers is a big problem, though. A 4.26 bullpen ERA is going to have to be addressed at some point before the playoffs if this team really wants to win a World Series. The offense, though, can make up for a lot of deficiencies, guys. They've scored 9 and 13 runs over their last 2 games. This is the best offense in the majors. They're 1st in runs scored, they're 1st in batting average, they're 1st in on-base percentage, and 1st in slugging percentage. So it doesn't get much better than that. They're taking on a Rockies team that is not great, 18-61 on the year. They'll hand the ball to Chase Dollander, who's 2-7 this season, a 6.19 ERA. Being a 23-year-old pitching for the Rockies might not feel amazing, but his last start was pretty good. He was at the Nationals, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. It was eventually a 4-3 loss there for these, pretty mediocre Rockies, but we'll see what he can do here against the Dodgers. He hasn't faced them this season. Being a 23-year-old going up against the Dodgers, probably a little bit terrifying. The bullpen for the Rockies, not super helpful, down to a 4.63 bullpen ERA. Looking like they're going the way of last season, and the offense is not good. Now, they're coming off a game where they scored 7 runs and lost. They don't score 7 that often, guys. They're 27th in runs scored. They're last in on-base percentage. You kind of get the picture. This team sucks at the plate. So, looking at the numbers here, I'm not shocked to see the Dodgers as massive minus 320 favorites. The Rockies are plus 250. We've got a total of 11 in this game. The Dodgers are 16-17 on the road, 17-16 to the over on the road. The Rockies are an MLB worst, 8-29 at home, and they're a 500 over-under team at home. I mean, I can't in good conscience take the Rockies here. I guess you got to take the Dodgers at minus 1.5, but I don't necessarily love that with Yamamoto on the mound. He's had his issues here lately, and that bullpen is terrible. That being said, they're going up against the Rockies, so I wouldn't blame anyone here who took the Dodgers minus 1.5. Last but not least, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. These two teams are actually playing right now in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Marlins up 4-2. So we'll see how things work out in that one. They'll be hitting the ball in this game to Edward Cabrera, who's 2-2 this season, a 3.81 ERA. His last start was against the Phillies, and he was amazing. 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed. Now, the Marlins managed to eventually lose that game 2-1, but it was certainly not his fault. He's been very good over his last 5 outings. Not a lot of notes for me about him. I think he's thrown the ball really, really well. He faced the Giants back on the 31st of May and looked amazing. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, no runs allowed in that one. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff here from Cabrera. Now, the bullpen for the Marlins is another story. A 4.50 bullpen ERA is clearly bad. The offense isn't amazing either, but it's not terrible. 24th in runs scored, but above average in batting average, batting 251 as a team. They're 19th in on-base percentage. There's some bats out there. Like, this team can find a way to put up some runs, and they've been putting up some runs recently. So maybe the Giants should take them a little bit more seriously. However, the Giants are playing pretty well. They're up to 44-34 on the year. They're 4 games back of the Dodgers in the NL West, and they'll hand the ball here to Logan Webb, who's 7-5 this season, a 2.49 ERA. His last time out, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run allowed against Cleveland in a 2-1 win. The Giants are 3-0 over his last 3 starts, wins against Cleveland, the Dodgers, and the Atlanta Braves. So we'll see which version of him we get in this one, but I'm expecting him to be good. Has he faced the No, he has not faced the Marlins yet this year, but I have a lot of faith in Logan Webb in this game. And even if he isn't amazing, you know that bullpen's going to come in and be lights out. A 2.63 bullpen ERA, the best in the majors by a significant margin. The problem that faces the Giants is their lack of offense. They were coming off a 9-run game going into game 1 of this series, but maybe they weren't locked in here against the Marlins. I mean, over the course of the year, they're not great at the plate. 17th in runs scored, 24th in batting average, so they're going to need to step it up offensively, but I think they've made just the right trade to do that. So looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 185. The Giants are minus 225. We've got a total of 7 in this one. The Marlins are 14-21 on the road, 19-16 to the over on the road. The Giants, 25-14 at home, 24-15 to the under at home. I don't have a lot to say about the under here, although I would take under in the first 5 without too much hesitation. I do like the Giants here to find a way to win at home. Now, minus 225 is a bit expensive. We would have to be looking at that as a potential lock of the day, and I'm not saying it's out of the question here, guys. I think it's very, very likely that the Giants come away with a comfortable win here at home. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I get back to almost every single comment every single day. I appreciate every single one of you who's watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link down in the description to get over to StompTheSpread.com. Get on that free email list. All they need is your name and your email address. That's it. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. Guys, we'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.